Jim Hertling is an American who knows more about the differences between the United States and Paris than anyone I know. For years with Bloomberg News, joins us from our London News Bureau. Jim, you've got just fabulous perspective here. How does this play differently than if this terrorist attack occurred in New York or Miami?
Wow, that's a great question, Tom, and it really it remains to be seen because the early reports, we know it was a terrorist attack. At least the President Hollande said so. Right now, French television is reporting that that the alleged attackers chanted or yelled out, "The Prophet has been avenged," as they ran out, and they remain at large. So a lot will depend upon what the investigation shows about what actually happened.
Frame for us the difference, Jim Hertling, between domestic Islamists in France and a more international relations that we look at today. Are they closely linked, or is the French experience with Muslims so different from the news flow of the last 6 months?
Well, France has grown incredibly concerned because there's a large number of Muslims in France and throughout Europe who have gone to Syria to join the fight there. And there's a tremendous concern among authorities in France and elsewhere in Europe about those trained fighters cycling back to Europe and bringing their heightened ideology and their heightened fighting skills back to Europe.
Jim Hertling, let me bring in Scarlett Fu. You two have known each other for a few years.
We certainly have, Jim. Charlie Hebdo, the satirical weekly that was targeted in this attack, had been attacked before in a firebombing incident in 2011. Are media companies, Jim, particularly a high terrorism target in France? Did you ever feel unsafe when you worked at Bloomberg in Paris?
No, I certainly didn't feel unsafe. But Charlie Hebdo went out of its way to ruffle feathers. You'll recall they published those cartoons of Prophet Muhammad a few years ago that raised so many hackles.
And the cartoonist Char, what does he mean to France?
You know, France holds its freedom of press very dearly, much as we do in the U.S. And Hollande, President Hollande himself said that the Charlie Hebdo offices were under a heightened protection even before this attack.